Hi guys. Hello, how are you? Hope you are very well, all of you. Seniors students, it's me to Academy for Teachers and Students for EmSAT Revision for grammar section and for most important related to grammar section, points and issues, irregular rules and also some points um, uh, of multiple choices, of grab questions, of matching questions, and so on. So please concentrate, and if you have a question, just to prepare yourself to ask the questions here, and I'm ready to do that with you today. Let's start saying what is the revision of today. It's revision 1 about EmSAT, and it's for grammar section and EmSAT. EmSAT test has 4 sections: reading section and grammar section and vocabulary section, and the last one is writing section. Today is a revision for grammar section. Everything about grammar is about the parts of speech, about nouns, about verbs, about adverbs, about adjectives, about adverbs, and about connection or conjunctions, and about some letter points or few points um, about some structures in English too. So students of EmSAT are always worried about the grammar section because it's like a revision for the whole grammar sections that you have learned before from K to 12. I mean from KG to 12. So this is the problem. Let's start together with one section is about the passive. But before I start the passive, I have to tell you that there was a question in EmSAT. This question was about using passive, irregular passive. So the problem is about how to do. Question was like that. Using a question is, I will let you go home. This is active. Change into passive. And they had at that time 2019 EmSAT exam English. They had multiple choices, 4 multiple choices. Which one is true? I will let you go home. I will let you go home. I will let you go home. This is active because the subject can do the verb. The subject is one of the people. It's you when you say yourself, I. So I will let you go home. This is active. It's a hard question at that time, 2019. I'm sad because always students are familiar with regular familiar rules like the subject should be the object, then tense change, and so on. But what happened here is about using the verb let, and the verb let is not like other verbs. So I will let you go home is active. How can you change this one to a passive? I will let you go home. If you want to change it into a passive, you have to do something here. I will tell you later about what to do because we have irregular, not regular, irregular rules. Also, one question was 2020 in EmSAT about irregular rules and passive. It was like that. He would have let it happen. He would have let it happen. So the verb let. And this is active because the subject is he or she, one of the people, so can do the verb. So what can you do here is some irregular rules you have to know when you see the verb let in your sentence. So what to do to change this one? It was introduction to understand that there are some questions to measure your levels. I mean high score levels for some students is using let as a verb in active voice to change it into passive voice or verses. Let's see now what I want to talk about is about the common irregular verbs. Step one, if you want to study passive from active and want to be accurate in your answers, you have to know the common irregular verbs. Common irregular verbs is some verbs with no change, with some irregular change or abnormal change you can see. Uh, um, let's see now. Let's see now one verb like write. Write with three shapes: write, wrote, written. We call this one write irregular verbs: write, wrote, written, because we didn't add ed in the past for the second one or the third one. If you don't add ed for the second one, second shape and third shape, this verb is irregular. So we have a list of irregular. So step one for students of EmSAT in grammar is to look for and search the internet about one list of irregular verbs. I mean verbs of no one shape of conjugations or ed verbs. No, it's not ed verbs like write, wrote, written. And also a verb like speak. Speak, spoke, spoken. So we have three different styles for one shape, one verb, and not ed verbs. What we call this one is irregular verbs. Again, step one for understanding grammar is yes. What one of you is asking about that recorded is it recorded or not? Yes, it is recorded. So don't worry, you will see that later if you want to follow that. Again, step one to understand changing from active to passive or to understand the grammar of English is to keep two types of verbs. One is about the irregular verbs. I mean the irregular verbs is verbs without adding ed as write, wrote, written, speak, spoke, spoken, and so on. Okay, what else to know? Step two, I mean, is to understand that the irregular verbs itself means no change for the three shapes. We have write, wrote, written. Write, wrote, written. And we have irregular verbs with only two changes: catch, no ed, coat, and coat. So we have the last two shapes are the same: catch, coat, coat. And bring, brought, brought. Buy, using money, buy, bought, bought. What we call this one again? Irregular verbs, verbs without ed. So we have two types of verbs without ed in this list of irregular verbs. One is three different changes in the verb itself: write, wrote, written, three different, and speak, spoke, spoken. And we have another change is only about the last two, the same in the last two, like buy, bought, boat, bring, brought, brought. That's good. Uh, Hi Ali, how are you? I'm okay, thanks. Now is going to the second point about the list of verbs. If you want to understand change from active to passive, you have to understand step one, and you have to get yourself a list of verbs. It's not just by your mind, no. It's a rule, it's a shape, it's a form, it's a list. So write on the internet irregular verbs list, PDF. You will find a lot of or tons of verbs you can keep in your mind. Like bite, bet, betten, or let with the three shapes the same, like keep, kept, kept, like hold, held, held, like make, made, made, like lose, lost, lost, and so on. So you will find a lot of that, and we call this one, and step one is irregular verbs. Again, step one to understand it, that changing from active to passive is about keeping irregular verbs. Okay, why, sir, you didn't talk about regular verbs with ed? Because you know ed is always famous for all and well known for most students. You say play, played, played, so it's okay. It's easy for you to know and reach to a list of ed or regular verbs. But we call now irregular verbs the list of non unify verbs, or list of irregular verbs, or list of verbs that change from one to another one, from the present to past, from the past to past participle. Let's go now back to let. What you can do if I give you a question of open the door. This is a sentence. Open the door. So this is active or passive first? Is it active or passive? When I say open the door, is it active or passive? Open the door is, yes, is active. Thank you. So open the door is active. And we want to change as a sentence to be passive. It's for most students because they understand now where the verb, where the subject, no subject in this sentence, and this sentence is imperative. And when you give orders for someone to open the door. So open the door is active. How could you change now the usage of let? Okay, so use the verb let. Use the verb let to understand the sentence like open the door, stand up, go out, come here, and so on. All sentences of this type, I mean imperative type of statements, is always changed by using let as a verb. That's why I told you let as a verb is very essential for students of high school or grade 12. So let's go now to change the sentence of open the door. So what can you do when you say open the door? When you say open the door, you have to do the same. Open is a verb, start with let as a verb instead of open. So let. And what is the object here? The door. So start with the object. So let the door. Open the door. Let the door. Let the door to do what? Let the door be, because always passive is using for be, I mean verb to be. Be itself, or am is are for present, or was were for past, and so on. So if you want to add be, I mean verb to be, so we have 6 types of be. Be itself, and we have am is are for present, was were for past. So let's go again. Open the door, change into passive. Open the door. So, and instead of saying open, use let. Let the door, because we need object. Let the door. Let the door what? Be, because let is always followed by infinitive. You can say let's go, let's write. So you need infinitive. The first shape of a verb. The first verb is open. So you say let the door be, and the past participle of open is ed, like the past. So let the door be opened. Let the door be opened. So open the door is active. Passive is let the door be opened. Now, if you want to change a sentence like go out, go out, go out. What can you say? For example, you're talking to a boy saying go out, go out. So what can you say to change it from active to passive? Using the verb let, then give yourself in the sentence an object. So let the boy be gone. Yes, be gone out. Let the boy be gone out. So change go to a past participle of go is went, gone, gone. So let the boy be gone out. Perfect. If you have a sentence is turn off the television, turn off the television, turn off the television. So this is now active, imperative active. You order one of your brothers to turn off the television. Turn off the television. So how can you change it into passive? Yes, using the verb let. Let, what is the object? A noun, always the object is a noun. What is the noun in the sentence turn off the television? Yes, television is a noun. So let the television be, because always is be, let be always. Take care of this point. Let object as a noun, then be, then the past participle. Let a noun in the sentence, be, and a past participle. So let the television be opened. Let the television be opened. That's correct. So this is how to change it from active into passive for imperative statement or sentence using let. So what is the main rule for this one? Main rule of this one is let plus a noun plus be and the past participle of the verb. Okay. Hi Khalid, how are you? Now I'm gonna talk again about one sentence in passive that happened, as I told you, in 2019 and 2020. Two different sentences about imperative, and most students couldn't answer this one because it's a regular rule, not just familiar with. Oh, I mean, change from active to passive using the verb let. Again, give example, Mister. Again, to understand, the example is if you say, for example, him, punish him. You hate some of people, and you can ask one of your friends, for example, to punish him. So the sentence is active. Punish him. Punish him. Okay, this is a sentence. So how can you change this sentence from active to passive? Using the verb let, because I don't have a subject. I didn't say he punished. No, I said punish as imperative verb, like sit down, stand up, come here, get out, and so on. So I have to use the verb let. The verb let. Let's go to change act from active to passive to punish him as a sentence. Punish him as a sentence. What can you do? Okay, now the rule is let the object or a noun in the sentence, means him or television before in the previous sentence. So let as a verb, then the noun itself in the sentence, then be, then the past participle. That's right. So let's go to let. Punish him. So the answer is punish him. The answer is, come on, Khalid. Enough saying why. So the answer is yes. Let him be punished. So four words. Let him be punished. So I told you again, this kind or type of sentences, I mean about imperative sentences of stand up, sit down, come here, get out, and so on, is one of the hardest questions in EmSAT grammar section. So it's easy if you understand. So take care. It's only just using let, then the object, then be, then yes, a past participle or the third shape of any verb, like go, went, gone, use gone, write, wrote, written, so use written, and speak, spoke, spoken, use spoken, and so on. So let him be punished. Let him be punished. That's right. Now this is my point of passive, but I have to tell you about some. You can go back to the internet to search about the passive rules for a usual rules that you know about present simple passive from active to passive, past simple from active to passive. So that's easy for all of you. But the problem was in 2019 and 2020 was about using imperative. I mean, stand up, sit down, come here, get out, write it down, punish him, and so on. How can you change these sentences, imperative sentences, from active to passive again and again? The rule is using let as a verb, then the noun in the sentence, like him, punish him, so use him, or turn off the television, so use the television after let, so let the noun be and the past participle. This is how to change or transform from passive from active to passive. Hope you understand this point, guys. And let's go through another point here. Uh, yes, one of the questions here is, Mr. Could you explain in short about the present simple and past simple? Passive, it's easy to understand. I will do, don't worry. But if I give you a question like, he opens the door, he opens the door, if you please just write it down in your notebooks to understand with me what to do, because we will have like a scissors changing from to. So let's go through the sentence again. He opens the door. He opens the door. When I see the verb open in the first shape, in the first form, this is present simple. And what I have evidence here also is about adding s with he, she, it. So he opens, he writes, he speaks, and so on. He opens the door. This is active or passive? How I know, mister, this is active or passive? It's easier. Look at the subject. He, one of the people. So can the subject to do the verb? Yes. He means Ahmed, Ali, and so on. So they can do the verb. They can open the door. Yeah, that's right. So it's active. He opens the door. So how can you change it into passive? We have here a subject he, we have object the door, and we have in the middle a verb open. So he opens the door, active, because he can do the verb, he can open the door. So this is logic. So it's active now. Now, how could you change? Step one is change, make interchangeable between the object instead of the subject. So he at the end, and object, I mean the door at the first, to be a subject, a new doer, or a new doer for the action, subject. So the answer now will start with saying the door. So instead of saying he, I will say the door. I talk the door as object to the first. So the door. The door now, and the sentence is present simple. So that I have to do that with be. I told you be in 6 types. Be, I mean verb to be. Maybe it is be as it is, okay? Or maybe am, is, are in the present, or was, were in the past. So I have 6 shapes. I will use always after the object. Be, or am, or is, or are, or was in the past, and were. So you have to know that step 2 is using be or one of the shapes or forms of be. I mean be itself, or am, is, are in the present, or was and were in the past. So step 1, change the object to be subject, take the subject to be object. Then step 2 is using verb to be. I mean be itself, or am, is, are in the present if you have a present, or if the sentence is past, using was and were. Now our sentence is present. That means I will not use be, I will use am, is, are. So I said now the door. The door is, or am, or are. So the door is. So the door is. Then step number 3 is change the verb into past participle, into number 3, shape number 3 of adverbs. As I told you before, when I started the live stream with you now, I said that we have for each verb 3 sections, 3 forms, 3 shapes: write, wrote, written; speak, spoke, spoken; and by both, and so on. So I have here the verb open. So what is the third shape of open? It's regular, so ed, opened, opened. So I will take opened. So step one again, start, take the object to be subject, the door in the first, and put be, one of the shapes of six shapes of be, is, are, was, or were. So I will use is because it's a present, and the door is singular, is one, so I will say is, the door is. Step number three is past participle of the verb open, so the door is opened. The door is open. So he opens the door. You will say the door is opened. Okay, by him, I took the subject to be an object. At the end, an object means transformation from object, from subjective shape to an objective pronoun, from he to him, from she to her, from they to them, from we to us, from I to me, and so on. This is how to do. I'll give you now another example about that. If I told you, for example, a question, a sentence is um, the dog chases the cat. So the dog I'll say it in the past. Okay. The dog chased, ed, chased in the past. So the dog chased the cat. This is now active or passive. How I know, mister? Again, ask your question. Ask yourself a question. Is the subject, sorry, can the subject do the verb? Is the subject able to do the verb? Yes. If yes, it's active. If no, it's passive. You remember the sentence, the door is open. So can the door open itself? The answer is no. So this is passive. But the sentence, he opens the door, is active because can he open the door as a man? Yes. So this is active. Again, to our new sentence in the past is the dog chased uh, the cat. The dog chased the cat. So the dog chased the cat is active. Why? Because the dog can chase the cat. So it's active. Perfect. So now change it into passive. What can you do? What can you do with this sentence? Because it's familiar always, this question about passive and active in EmSAT. And you have to know that the format of that one is two ways in the EmSAT question about grammar of passive. One way is multiple choices to give you the sentence and ask you to change it into passive. One of the answers is correct. So you will see the answers, sentences change it into passive. One of them is true. Second way in EmSAT about grammar passive is about grab. For example, you will have many sentences about one sentence, and it will ask you to put in the box the right, grab the sentence to put in the right box. I mean the true sentence, the correct one about changing passive from active to passive. This is how to see that inside the exam. Let's back to our sentence in the past. The dog chased the cat. The dog chased the cat is in the past because chased, ed, but pronunciation is t. So the dog chased the cat. So what can you do now? The dog chased the cat, past past simple sentence. So three steps, as I taught you. Number one is change the object to be subject. So the cat will be in the start, not the dog, and the dog will be at the end. So the cat. Number two is be in one of the six shapes. Be or amizar if it's present, or was where if it is past. It is past. So was and where, one of them. So the dog at the end, the cat at the first. Second be. Amizar was where. Which one? Was. Yes. The cat, singular. It's one, so singular means in the past was. The cat was. You say I was, he was, singular. So the cat was. Then step number three is the past participle of any verb you have inside the sentence, and the verb is chased with ed. So it's easier for you to take it again as a past participle because ed in the past, like in the third shape, also ed in the past participle. So again, the cat it was chased. The cat was chased. The cat was chased by the dog. The cat was chased by the dog. Again and again, how to change from active to passive. Three steps, main three steps you have to know. One is change the object to be subject at the first, then put be or one of the six shapes of be, I mean be itself or am is are if it is present, or was where if it is past, and take care of the new object as a subject. Now it is singular, means is or am or was in the past, or it is plural, means were in the past and are in the present. Sorry. Third point is using the past participle itself, third shape of any verb you have in the sentence. And as I told you in the first of this session, you have to concentrate about irregular verbs, three different shapes of a verb, like write, wrote, written, speak, spoke, spoken, and so on. This is in general how to change from active to passive for any sentences. And I told you what happened in 2019 and 2020 about the sentences of using let. When you say open the door, take care of yourself, come here, go out, turn on the television, all of these sentences are irregular, not like what we said now. It's using let, then the object, then be, always be, then the past participle of a verb. Open means opened, turn means turned, ed, and so on. Okay, what's next now? This is now section 1 in our revision, is about grammar for passive that I have noted with you. Okay, what else is about using one main point you have to know is about using who and whom. One of the main questions always repeated in EmSAT is about using who and whom. Sorry again. Who and whom, how can you differentiate between who and whom? Okay, what difference? Who is a question word like why, where, and so on. We use who, W-H-O, to ask about people, jobs, okay? In most times, it's about jobs or people. Example about that is Ali wrote the homework. Ali wrote the homework. So the question is who wrote, not who Ali. Ali is the answer. Who wrote the homework? Who wrote the homework? Okay. So the answer is Ali, because I ask now about the subject. So if you want to ask about the subject, you use who, W-H-O. And if you want to ask about the object, and the object is one of the people or a job, I met Ali yesterday. I met Ali yesterday. So I have I as a subject, and I have Ali in the sentence as an object. If you want to ask about the subject, you will ask who met Ali yesterday. The answer is I met Ali yesterday. If you want to ask about the object, I mean Ali, you have to use whom, W-H-O-M. So the difference now between who and whom is by two differences. One is who for subject, whom for object. Who and whom for people and jobs. So whom for object, I mean a second name in the sentence. Who is for subject, the first name in the sentence, and should be people or jobs. Second difference is who, no need for did or do or does. You have to put who instead of the subject. That's it. Example, Ali wrote the homework. Okay, I met Ali and put who. Who wrote? Not using for did or do or does. Who wrote? Who spoke? Who speaks? Who write? Okay, who write the homework now? The answer is the students write the homework, for example. But whom, you have to put do or does or did. You have to use a helping verb or auxiliary verbs. Means can, could, well, would, do, does, did, have, has, had, any auxiliary verb or any helping verb you have to use after whom. Example, I met Ali yesterday. So Ali is now the main word in a question. Ali is now the main word in a question. Sorry. So I will omit Ali and we will add whom with do, does, did according to the tense of the sentence. I said I met in the past. Second shape of meet. So in the past. So the past, when you ask about the past, you have to use did. Yes, did. So I say now here whom did, not whom. Whom did, and it changed I to you. Whom did you meet? Question mark. The answer is Ali. Whom did you meet? The answer is Ali. So whom did you meet? Is between who you who wrote the homework, for example. So who without do or does or did or have or has or had or any auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, and who should be with did, do, does, and others of helping verbs. Okay. So now the answer is alish in the second one when you say whom. This is who and whom repeated many times for last years about EmSAT, so take care of this point about the difference between who and whom and EmSAT grammar section and multiple choices. How does it look like? It looks like the same way of multiple choices. Who a question like I wrote my homework. So choose one of the sentences to be a question, a right or true question about the sentence. Who wrote the homework, or whom wrote the homework, and so on. Some false sentences, questions, and one is true. So you have to choose a correct one. Okay. Now this is second point in grammar section for today, and the third point for grammar section of today is about using uh, do and make. Do and make always, always. No one single exam for EmSAT without do and make as two verbs with collocations. Collocations means do with some words and make with other words and not mixing. We'll see that later. But before I start do and make, I have to ask you a question here. If I ask you space is at the door. Space is at the door. Space is at the door. So the question is, question word is who or whom. Space is at the door. So what is the main WH question? Main question word is who or whom. The question is who, right? Why I use who here? Who is at the door? Who is at the door? Because I don't have another name in the sentence, only one subject. So if I say Ali is at the door, the answer is who is at the door. So the question word, true one, is who, not whom. Okay, if I give you a question is space, did you see? Space, did you see? Who or whom? Choose who or whom did you see? So who or whom? Yes, guys. Did you see? Space. Did you see? So who did you see or whom did you see? Correct. Whom? Yes. Whom did you see? Why? Because I have you here. I have you as object, as a subject with object. Another one. The answer is whom did you see? The answer is not I. Is Ali. I saw Ali. I saw Wally, or I saw my friend. So the answer is whom here. So when you see did, do, does, the answer, the question word suitable one is whom, not who. When you didn't see, for example, the one, the answer was who. Let's go for make and do. As I told you, no single exam for EmSAT English achieve English without make and do. Collocations with make and do. Collocations with make and do. I'm sorry. Like, for example, uh, do your best. Do your best. You cannot say make your best. I hope you can repeat this video many times to keep the collocations with do and make. Okay, if I say do an exercise or make an exercise, do, yeah, that's right. Do exercise, do your best, do exercise. Okay, what about do a favor? And this one is famous always. Do a favor. Do a favor means do something good for me. Okay, what about do business? So we have do your best, do exercise, do a favor, and do business. Okay, if I say do housework or make housework, do housework, do homework or make homework. So in the questions of EmSAT for grammar section, what shapes of the questions about do and make? What shapes is about two ways of questions about do and make. One is grab each collocations with do or make. So just grab, just you will take, for example, your best with do, shopping with do, homework with do, housework with do, and so on. Business with do business, do your best, and so on. Do a favor. Or second way is about multiple choices. Do, for example, which one is true? Do with other one, and so on. Tell, for example, the true one is do your job, do housework, do homework, do a favor, do business. You'll choose the true one. Collocations with do. What about make? Okay, what about make? For example, if you want to say arrange your bed, what can you say? Do your bed or make bed? Make bed means arrange your bed. Okay, that's better. So make bed, not do bed. Okay, what else? Make a change, not do a change. Make a change. You have to make a change here. Make change, not do a change. Take care. What else? For example, make a decision, not do a decision. Make a decision. Also, make a difference. Make a difference. Make an effort. Make an effort. If you have excuses, if you want to say sorry for today or tomorrow, you can say you make an excuse. You make an excuse, not do an excuse. Okay, make an inquiry. If you have some questions, for example, okay, so make friends or do friends, make friends. So make with some collocations, you have to keep them. Do with other collocations different from make. And the questions, as I told you, into shapes in grammar section for EmSAT. Please repeat the video many times to keep and write down in your notebooks using pencils about do collocations and make collocations too. And I gave you today the most well-known questions and collocations in EmSAT Achieve English for last years and especially expected in this year 2021. What else you have to know is about adjective. Adjective is a word describes a noun and comes before the noun. I saw Ahmed. I saw a friend. Till now I don't have adjective. So I say, for example, I saw my best friend. So best is an adjective here. Or I saw angry man in the street. So angry or hungry and so on. So adjective, a word describes a noun. So it's always before a noun. But what I want to say, this is easy for you. But here today in this video, I have something maybe new for some students, for most students. It's about the adjectives of 3 points. One is about smart adjectives. Always we say very, very, very. You can use one adjective instead of saying very. This is point 1. And point 2 is about using adjectives, differentiated adjectives as size adjectives, shape adjectives, feelings adjectives, time adjectives like ancient, fast, quick, rapid, slow, and so on. Feelings like angry, happy, funny, kind, silly, sweet, gentle, sad, wide, and so on. Size adjective like short, tall, tiny, sorry, and so on. So you can see that we differentiated the adjective into size, shape, feeling, style. Why we did that now? Because I want to give you a rule, an important rule about adjective is about word order, and this is always, take care. I insist about the order of adjectives. One of the main questions in grammar section for EmSAT. OSASCOMP. Again, OSASCOMP. Each letter instead is standing for a new word. Example O, opinion. So if you have many adjectives, how can you arrange the adjectives for one noun? For example, I have a book as a noun. The book is with a cover. The cover is triangular, for example. Sorry, rectangular. What triangular? How can the cover be a triangular? Oh my God. Okay. For example, rectangular. So this is the shape of the cover, for example, and I have this book is old book, for example, it's antique, it's from old days, a long time ago, so it's old book. So I have adjective old, I have adjective triangular about the shape. I have a small, the book is a small, for example, about the size, and I have also material, it's from paper, for example, so, and it's English, maybe about the language is in English. So how can I arrange all of these adjectives in front of one noun? One of the main questions in EmSAT, arrange the sentence, the adjectives in front of one noun. So grab the adjective, and you'll find that in EmSAT using one noun with multi adjectives before. So what can you do is the rule OSASCOM. OSASCOM, OSASCOMP. O means opinion, number one. If you have adjective about opinion, so like for example, beautiful. So you have to start with. If you have S means the size. If you have adjective, so it will be number two about size, like small or big. A for age. If you have adjective, for example, about age like old, so you have to say a beautiful, small, comma old. I mean the book. If you have a shape, S for shape. If you have something like triangular, so again you would say beautiful, comma small, comma old, comma triangular. Then if the color is red, you would say red. C means color, and then O means origins, or I mean about the language is English. So now again, it's a beautiful, I have a beautiful, small, old, triangular, red English book, for example. So you can do that with OSASCOM. OSASCOM rule can help you what to do in front of one noun with multi adjectives. Hope you understand this point because it's important and essential in EmSAT question. If you have a question till now, please ask me any question about this point till now if you have. I have a question here. No, I'm here only here. It's not logic to be into two streams live at the same time. I don't know. So it's only one. Mr. Ahmed. And now let's go to um, third point is about describing. Sorry, is about using nouns. We didn't talk about nouns, so I'm talking today about the parts of speech in 6 points about the noun, about the verb, about the adjective, about the adverb. The adverb, we'll see that later at the end, and about pronouns and about passive, how to change it from active to passive, and who until now. Noun. What is a noun that you described just a minute ago? What is a noun? A noun should be for places, for things, for persons, for people, I mean, for animals. So if you use a name about animals, like puppy, for example, this is a dog name, for example, you say this is a noun. Or a name for people like Ali, Hazza, Ahmad, Sarah, and so on. Or a place like school, it's a noun too. Or things like bowl, foot, bowl, or is a noun. Or a table, a desk, and so on. So noun means a word refers to places, things, people, animals. What I want you to know is about the types of nouns. Most EmSAT English exams contain types of nouns questions. Types of nouns, you have four types about nouns. Main four types of nouns as concrete nouns. Concrete nouns means a noun into two types: common nouns or proper nouns. Concrete nouns means something you can touch or see or talk to or feel. So concrete noun. But we have two types of concrete noun is common nouns and proper nouns. Common nouns as car, London, sorry, as London, for example, or Richard, proper noun for people, Richard. Car in general. I'm talking about car. I didn't mention or identify which car, which color, which mark, and so on, which brand this car is or model. I didn't talk about the size, so it's just a car. To understand, for everyone is a car. A vehicle can have people inside and move from place to another place. So just a car, common noun. But proper noun is not for all. When I have heard a name as Ali or Richard, it's only one in my mind. I have to know. Not all people is Richard or Ali. So proper noun names for people or jobs, and common noun names for in general. I mean, like car, like doctor, and I didn't mention what name of the doctor, where is he, and how is he, and so on. Second type is abstract nouns. Abstract nouns opposite of concrete, something you cannot touch, you cannot see, you cannot feel, you cannot talk to, like fraction, like honesty, like courage. You are brave, bravery, for example. So you cannot see or touch or talk to courage, education, learning, teaching. All of that are abstract nouns. We have also two types, different two types, and important for you to know: countable nouns and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns you can count 1, 2, 3, and so on. So plural is S. And countable nouns, opposite of countable, something you cannot count because it's very tiny and very small, or you could see hardly. Example: if I say pen, the tool you use to write with. So the plural is pens. So countable, something you can see and count, like pens. Okay, books. So countable because I can't count how many books I have. For example, galleries, chairs, and so on. Schools. But if I have water, I cannot say waters because I cannot count the water. So it's uncountable now. Water, rice, sugar, salt, and so on. All juice, all water, all liquids, oil, and so on. Collective nouns. Collective nouns is important for you. If you say school, can you say school are or school is? Okay, school is, Mr. Okay, family. Family is or family are. Family is, because I'm talking about one noun. But if you mean if you put a verb of movement related to members of the family, so family without a singular now, it's a plural. For example, my family uh, discuss the topic yesterday. It doesn't mean all the family discuss. No, it means members of the family discuss. So it is not discuss with es in a present simple singular. No, it's plural. But I can say my family is big. Is not are. Is big because I'm talking in general, in total. Is big. Is very big, and so on. So this is collective nouns. Okay. This is the point of noun. If you have a question till now, question till now. Okay, let's go to irregular plurals. One of the main questions in EmSAT exam is about irregular plural. Plural, you change from singular to plural by adding s or ies or es. If I have, for example, box, something you put in. So the plural is boxes, means es. Or book, a book. I have a book. You have read, for example, yesterday. So the plural is books with added s. But a problem is for some students or most students about the irregular nouns. If I have person, the plural is not persons, it's s. No, it's people. So person as a noun, the plural is people. If I have foot, okay, my foot, okay, so the plural is feet, not foot, okay, feet. If I'm talking about tooth inside my mouth, tooth, the plural is teeth. If I'm talking about child, my child, so child, so the answer is for plural, yes, children, children, not childs, no, not adding s, irregular. Mouse, you know the mouse, for example, or rat. Mouse, the plural is mice. Sheep, what we used to slaughter in Eid, Al-Adha Eid, and so on, sheep. So the plural is still the same, sheep, without an s or any change. So sheep is sheep. One is plural, one is singular. Fish is fish, the same. Not fishes, no, fish, fish. Okay, goose, the plural is geese. Woman with a, the plural is women with e. Aircraft, the plural is aircraft, the same, no change. Uh, if you have, for example, man, the plural is men, not mans. If I have to say quiz, quiz, the plural is quizzes, but quizzes with double z and added es. If you have index, index that when you start a project and write this project in many pages and you want to put index at the start of a book, so this topic in page so, topic second in page so, third topic in so and so. So it's index. Index, this is singular. What about the plural? To change ex into ices. So we have datum. Datum is coming from data. Data is a plural. Datum is a singular. Curriculum is singular, and the plural is curricula. Curricula. L-A at the end, not lum. Curriculum is a singular. Curricula is a plural. So uh, these are most famous or well-known plural coming from singular and irregular plurals if you want to revise at home. Uh, okay, adverbs. What is adverb? Adverb is a word with ly at the end. Slowly, ly. Weekly, yearly, daily, safely, helplessly, highly, and so on. So it's a word. It's adjective, actually. It's adjective plus ly at the end. Slow, slowly. Dream, dreamily, and so on. So this is adverb. Why we use adverb? We use adverb to describe the verb. Take care. Adjective to describe the noun, adverbs to describe the verb. So for example, I walk. I want to describe the walk as a verb, my walking. So I say I slowly walk. So I means now I describe my walking as slowly, not quickly. So this is slowly as adverb. Okay, no more changing in exam for adverb, but I have irregular adverbs you have to know before the EmSAT exam. Irregular adverbs is good, coming from the adjective good. So the adverb is not godly, ly, no, it's well. So good is adjective, well is adverb. Well, W-E-L-L, not W-I of a future. Fast as adjective, fast as adverb, no change. Hard as adjective, hard as adverb, and even hardly. Late as adjective, late as adverb, and lately too. Early as adjective and also as adverb, early, no change. Daily as adjective, daily as adverb, no change. Straight, straight. Wrong, wrong or wrongly. Ally or lively, lively, the same. Or far, far means far away. So this is also the same. So some irregular adverbs, most questions will be about the irregular. Take care, guys, about every irregular rules and that one. Now I have done with you about this revision for grammar today, and every Saturday and Tuesday we will be here with you live stream for revision. Next time it will be about reading techniques and reading revision for EmSAT, because reading is three parts of reading, three sections of reading, three passages of reading with multi questions, 110 questions about reading. About all exams except writing. Most of the questions of 110 is related to reading section. So I hope you understand today something, and I'm sorry for disturbing your time this time. And if you like the live stream, subscribe, please, and like, then share for your friends, others along the world to get benefits. If the video is good for you, please, thank you. See you later. Bye.